Born in 1965, William Todd Hamilton grew up in the small town of Aquaca in Henderson County. With a population of 7,000 people, the town only had room for a 9-hole course. Todd's father introduced him to the sport, and although it was a small course, it had everything he needed and was a golf haven for practicing. Todd began winning big local competitions such as the Riverboat Day Amateur and the Clinton, which he won on many occasions. His progression was good considering he was predominantly self-taught, and being that one kid from that small town, he had many doubters. Those who didn't believe didn't stop Todd's tunnel vision and the dreams he had set himself. Through high school, he became the 2-time state champion and began receiving offers from colleges all around the country. He chose the University of Oklahoma and went on to become a 3-time All-American. After leaving college, Todd turned professional at the age of 22. He immediately set his sights on the PGA Tour. He tried and failed many times, and instead of slugging it out on the mini tours, building his way up to the PGA, he decided to go abroad and challenge on the Asia circuit. Asian golf back then was up and coming, and the quality of golf wasn't the best, so it was the perfect place for a golfer to gain some experience. At first, Todd struggled. The changing culture and his surroundings were very different from his small town. Things got so bad that Todd was wondering if this was what he actually wanted, and considered giving up golf altogether. After that rough start, Todd's game started to recover and his results started to follow. He ended up winning 2 times on the Asia Tour, both in playoffs, and topped the Order of Merit in 1992. After that success, he was granted exemption onto the Japan Golf Tour, which was a considerable step up. From 1992 to 2003, through 11 seasons, Hamilton racked up 11 Japan Tour wins. This gave him a total prize fund of 630 million yen, or $6 million to you and me. He became a household name in Japan and a legend on tour. He ranked second in the all-time money earned for a non-Japanese player on that tour. In his last year on the Japan Tour, Todd won 4 times. With that confidence, he decided to head back to the States and try for an 8th and final time to get his PGA Tour card. And guess what? An 8th time a charm. After 16 years of slugging it out and now at the ripe old age of 38, Todd Hamilton was a PGA Tour player. His run of form continued and he made a huge first impression. At the 2004 Honda Classic, Hamilton birdied the last 2 holes to beat Davis Love by 2 strokes. After winning a well-respected prestigious event on tour, people were now wondering where had 38-year-old Todd Hamilton been all our lives. With that win, and weirdly enough at 38, Todd won Rookie of the Year for the 2004 season, something usually won by up-and-coming golfers on tour. Not that anyone noticed, but Todd played in 2 previous Opens, 1992 and 1996, with a tied 44th the best he could do. So when that year he qualified, it wasn't a shock to the system and he knew what to expect. Todd Hamilton was a 38-year-old world-travelling 1-time PGA Tour winner when he arrived at Royal Troon for the 2004 Open. A journeyman by every definition. Something he couldn't expect was his flight to Scotland being delayed and him being the last player to check in. Upon his arrival, workers were setting up for the next day and they were testing out the scoreboards. As he browsed up towards the top, he noticed that his name was at the top at 4 under par. There were 8 to 10 scores, but they had his name at the very top, which he thought was kind of odd. A coincidence maybe? Either way, very bizarre. He came to Scotland with his wife, 3 kids and his mother. He had won the Honda Classic in March, but there was no reason, even for him to believe that he could return to the US with the claret jug. Sure, Ben Curtis, then world number 396, had won the Open the previous year, but lightning wasn't likely to strike twice for a surprising American winner. As the murky grey skies loomed over Royal Troon, there was a quiet, eerie feeling in the air. Paul Casey and Thomas Levitt both carded 66 5 under par and held a 2-stroke lead over a group of 9 players, whilst defending champ Ben Curtis carded a 75 4 over. Day 2, Skip Kendall stormed into the lead with a 66 to reach the halfway stage at 7 under par. Casey dropped down the leaderboard with a 77 and Hamilton finished the round with a 67 to move up into a tie for 5th place. Day 3 saw Hamilton surge up the leaderboard with a 2nd consecutive 67 to finish the day at 8 under par. Ernie was lying close second and Tiger was seen lurking down below. So the show was set, a rookie on tour versus a multi-major winner, with plenty of big names chasing them both down. Hamilton, playing in only his 8th major, opened up a 2-shot lead after chipping in for birdie from 30 feet on the par 3 14th to get 10 under par. Then he holed a 12-foot birdie putt on the par 5 16th to keep his cushion. Els continued to make birdies to keep up, and he came through with pure putts on the 16th and 17th. Then came the wild 72nd hole. With Hamilton holding a 1-shot lead, Todd pushed his iron off the tee and into the rough, then chopped it across the fairway next to a guard railing that restricted his swing. There was a slight bit of Jean van der Velde feeling about this. Els Els hit his approach shot to within a shadow of the flag, leaving a 12-foot birdie attempt. Hamilton chipped to 20 feet and missed to take bogey. Els suddenly had a putt to win but left it short. After 72 holes, Hamilton and Els were tied for the lead at 10 under par. Todd had recently lost 4 playoffs on the Japan Tour, so nerves were through the roof. Both players parred the first 2 holes, both par 4s. Then Hamilton managed a par 3 on the 222-yard 17th. Els overshot the green and bogeyed, and then parred the last, leaving Hamilton a 3-foot par putt to win the Open, which he holed. The small town boy had done it. With a $700 set of clubs he'd brought from a mate weeks prior to Royal Troon, and 3 woods that he'd bent to use more as a recovery club, he defied all odds and nobody could ever take that away from him. The win saw his bank balance increased by £700,000, and that $700 set of clubs was definitely a good investment. So the plan now was to go back to America, play on the PGA Tour and flaunt the claret jug to anyone with any curiosity. But Todd didn't really get a chance to flaunt anything. In his 187 subsequent tour starts, he missed the cut 111 times and had just 3 top 10 finishes. It's safe to say that Todd peaked at just at the right time, on the right weekend, on the right day in his career. He eventually lost all playing rights on the PGA Tour and was forced to live out his final days on the web.com. But Todd didn't really play much from there. He was still a member of the web.com, but picked and chose when to play. He was living life, with no injuries to report or no family tragedies that stopped him from playing. Todd just finally made his dreams come true by becoming a PGA Tour player, and had great timing on his form for the Open Championship. By 50, he was now eligible to play on the Senior Tour, where he made some good money, playing 4 competitions in a row, something he hadn't done in years. And now again picks and chooses when he plays and does other work around the industry. After all, he is a major champion and easy to employ. It's a story that you only see in Hollywood, but for Todd, a reality. He now resides in his home in Texas, looking back at his improbable career, fully knowing that he has stamped his name on golf's history forever.